Welcome to Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation Podcast. This is episode number 55, and today we have a lot to discuss about. So, we will be discussing about PlayStation announces their partnership with Discord. Sony is also in a lawsuit regarding the PlayStation Store, and along with that, it goes with Epic Games versus Apple, and that lawsuit going there. We also know that PS5 shortages are continuing into the next year. We have 25 PS5 exclusives that are coming in within the year. And with our main topic, we will be talking about Ubisoft's whole agenda or their plan to pretty much turn all of their big AAA games into free-to-play games. And we're going to be discussing about that and much, much more in this episode of DualShock'd. But also, remember to subscribe, like, and follow us on all of social media and here on YouTube. With all that said, I'm one of your hosts, Brett J. Rasmussen. And over here, I got my other co-host,
Guru Blade.
Yeah! Woo! What is up, my man? It has been a while.
It has. But you know what? It's been a good while.
I know, right? When was the last time? I think, I'm trying to remember when was the last time that we were on.
It was within the last 1 or 2 months, I would say.
Yeah.
But, I've been playing a lot of games since then. I've been getting onto a lot of new shit, getting back to a lot of old shit that I haven't yet beat, which is most of the shit that I have, because you understand how backlogs work. You start a game, you get 3/4 through, and then you're like, I need to play this other game, and then you don't touch it for 4 months. And, just as a quick random side note, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Do you ever have the experience where you will play a game like obsessively?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then you drop off of it all of a sudden. You get on other shit and you don't touch it for months. Maybe even like either because you were stuck on something or you just happened to drop off of it naturally. But then you come back to it after having not played it and you just own it greater than you've ever fucking owned it before, like on your first fucking playthrough.
Yeah. I've done that on platinum runs. Like, I would be like, why can't I just do this trophy? And it's like the last 1 or 2 ones in order to get the plat. And it's like the hardest one. I remember it was in Infamous First Light, because there was a platinum for that, where you have to do the simulation, or pretty much they're like the arena mode, and you had to like kill enemies and stuff like that, and you rack up points and so on and so on. I worked on that for like a long time, and there were just a few, like, it was just there were just these few trophies where I'm like, God, I'm just so close. So I took a break from it, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go play something else and just need to do something else. And then I came back. Yep. Well, and I'd be like, I'll come back to you. I'll play you later. I just need a break because I'm just getting tilted and getting mad and so I stopped playing First Light.
That's when I stopped playing Dark Souls, and then I came back.
Yeah. So like that's pretty much what happened.
And Sekiro, same thing. Like, I just got like, fuck, I just need to do something else.
Yeah. Like, I took a break. I can't remember what I played in the interim, and then I came back to First Light. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then it just boom, and it took me a few tries, but then I'm like, haha, the plat, there it is. But no, I completely understand that. Oh yeah. So it sounds like that you've been playing Sekiro. That's what you've been playing.
I just, in the last 2 days, I've gotten back into it. I've also gotten back into playing Dark Souls Remastered, because I've never beaten it once. But I'm at Sen's Fortress now and that, and I've gotten a decent amount farther in Sekiro. Like, I had some moments where I was just like a force, like when I first came back. But like, I love the combat in Sekiro so much. As hard as that game is, it's the hardest of all the Souls games. Like, it gives you a lot. You can pause, you can swap shit out. Like, there's a lot of given to you, but it's that much harder combat-wise because it's all about timing.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite. One of my, like, itches to be scratched when it comes to any game and combat is, like, parries, counter moves, your timing when, like, moving, like, that literally, shoots the serotonin out in my brain when I see that in a game.
Oh yeah.
So that's why, like, Sekiro, as hard as it is, like, God, but the combat's so smooth and it's so good. It's just such a flawless system with, like, shit that I don't even have yet. With, like, new moves that just, like that. Like, that's why Ghost of Tsushima's good. Like, just, fuck, dude. It just, like, it syncs together so well.
Yeah.
But
No, that's fine. I mean, for me, I've been playing a similar game, or at least when it comes to like how hard it is. It's Returnal. I've been playing Returnal. I'm still working on that. I'm still going through it. It is definitely difficult. It's a roguelike game. It's a PS5 exclusive, and I know there's been a lot of debate about that game with its difficulty, where pretty much you have to pretty much have to do one whole run without dying between acts. That's that's pretty much what's happening now. They have Housemarque has been working on a fix for that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it is definitely one of those games where you have to learn how the enemies operate in order to deal with them.
That's just like a Souls game.
Mm-hmm. So, but I've been having a fun time with Returnal.
Is the story decent?
Yeah, I enjoy the story. Yeah, I mean,
Is the story set up in the same way that like the Dark Souls story is, where it's just like layered in you having to figure it out, or is it just blatant?
No, it's pretty blatant, unless, I mean,
like a vague, like you got to piece things together.
It's more of a mystery. It's not like how in.
Well, no, I like the That's what I'm saying. That's what made Dark Souls stories so good. Is like,
is the lore hidden in swords and what? Like, no, it's not like that.
Right.
No.
But it's still like a somewhat. You still got to try to piece things together.
I believe so. Yes.
Well, you played it, and I haven't, so I take your word.
So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been, playing like the game that I play when I just like I'm dead and I'm like I want to play a video game, but I just need to just not think. Is Destiny? I've been playing that, and I've said it on the show. I've been playing. That's kind of like the go-to game, and I've been finding, as I said before, relaxation in a game that you don't have to think, where I can throw on Disney Plus or Hulu or Netflix.
Card games or something.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do. It's like something that I can just do without any real like commitment.
Yeah.
And like I only have to think to minute to minute, minor amounts. You're not. It's not like you're like a game like Dark Souls or Sekiro or probably Returnal, where you're like in a constant need to have like all attentions paid and need to be like linking your movements in your mind at all times. Where it's like in a game like that, it's more just like moving and doing without really thinking about it, like driving to work every day. It just becomes automatic.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing started. So, we all begin with what we always begin with: news of the nation. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and begin with our first topic. Now, we've been off for about 2 weeks. Because we didn't have anything, we weren't able to go ahead and do it last week, so we've been off for 2 weeks, so we're back on now. So there are some topics that we're going to talk about in this episode that are from 2 weeks ago, because there's been some important stuff that has happened, and I want to talk about this topic because it relates to our last episode of Dualshock'd, episode number 54, Death of a Bandicoot. And in that episode, we talked about, me and Spectre talked about how um, what has happened is that Toys for Bob is now being made to work on Call of Duty Warzone. So now pretty much almost all of Activision studios are now working on Call of Duty, whether it's the new Call of Duty game or on Warzone or on the most recent one, which would be Cold War, whatever it would be. But like all of Activision studios are working on that. Vicarious Visions has been sucked up into Blizzard, so they're working on, I would probably bet, the Diablo 2 remaster that's happening. So a lot of studios that have worked on different games are now just, nope, you all work on Call of Duty now. And we discuss on like our opinions on it and what that is. And I'll ask for your opinion on this also, Guru Blaze, but let's get into the article about this. So this article comes from Video Game Chronicle, VGC, and it says that Activision says Toys for Bob will continue to support Crash 4 and denies layoffs. Activision has denied claims that Crash Bandicoot 4 studio Toys for Bob has suffered layoffs and said it will continue to support the platformer alongside its new role on Call of Duty. Last week, so this was like 2 to 3 weeks ago, so Novato, California-based developer, which also made 2018's Spyro Reignited trilogy, that was Toys for Bob, confirmed it would be supporting the development of Call of Duty Warzone. This led to one former contract character designer claiming that they had left the studio along with, quote, everyone they had worked alongside with at Toys for Bob. However, speaking to VGC, an Activision spokesperson denied Toys for Bob had suffered layoffs and claimed that its development team was, quote, fully operational. The studio will continue to support Crash Bandicoot 4 in addition to providing support to Warzone, the spokesman claimed. Quote, reports of layoffs at Toys for Bob are incorrect. There has not been a reduction in personnel recently at the studio. The development team is operating fully and has a number of full-time job openings at this time. The studio is excited to continue supporting Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, and more recently provide additional development support for Call of Duty Warzone. So yeah, and then the article kind of continues about what, Crash Bandicoot 4 and Call of Duty, So an Activision spokesperson pretty much said that nope, they're still working on it. So first, what do you? I want to, I guess, go to you, Guru Blaze. What is your opinion on all this?
Well, it's interesting because I got a buddy who plays a lot of Warzone. And I played a little bit of it because that's what this is coming down to for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like Call of Duty Warzone is a big enough game where like that seems to be the pivotal point of this vertical.
Yeah.
And he plays it a lot, and I played it, and it's a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
But like as any battle royale game is for me personally, I can only do so much of it before it just becomes rote and boring.
Yeah.
And as popular as it is, though, with Fortnite in its slow waning decay, whether or not anyone wants to fucking say that that's the truth, it is starting to fall to the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'm not going to say that I believe it completely, what they're saying about it, because it sounds so scripted as a response.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was seeing. Like when I was,
it's like nothing is wrong in Ba Sing Se. There is no war. Like that's the vibe I get off of that.
Yeah, that's what I feel too. And like I was furious about this in in our last episode, because like I'm more frustrated and mad that Activision is just, it makes sense. Here's the thing about this whole thing. It makes sense that Activision, I'm not surprised. This doesn't surprise me whatsoever that Activision just goes, all of the studios, Beanox, Toys for Bob, Vicarious Visions, Ravensoft, the Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, all of the studios that Activision has, and Blizzard, because it's Activision Blizzard, all of you are going to work on Call of Duty. Blizzard, go off and do your thing. Here's Vicarious Visions, because you sucked at remastering Warcraft 3. Take Vicarious Visions, who have been able to do 2 extremely successful remasters, and use them to your advantage. Because Vicarious Visions did the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and then they did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Which are phenomenal games. And so Vicarious Visions has been sucked up into Blizzard, and then you have all the studios that could be working on a bunch of different stuff is all working on this. And hearing this is just like, yeah, they'll support Crash 4, but you're not going to get a Spyro 4. You're not. You're not going to get another sequel to that. And I talked about this in our last episode, but the sales of the digital sales of units, so like per game, if I remember correctly, it was 520 for the Insane Trilogy, 552 for CTR Nitro, the CTR remaster, Crash Team Racing. And then Crash 4 only sold 420, and this is all in the thousands. It's 420,000, 552,000, 540. Excuse me. So, and as a business, they're like, oh, no one cared. But like, I guess for me, I'm just frustrated. Like, we're not going to see maybe some like potential. And mind you, they didn't push Crash 4. Like, the people who were excited for Crash 4 were going to buy Crash 4 regardless. They didn't push that game like they do, like, with Call of Duty or any game that they have much more hopes for or that they know will sell better. And that's what frustrates me. And hearing this, it is very much like, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. Like, that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, great, sure. So yeah, let's move on. Next topic, Guru Blaze. How about you take it from here?
Give me 2 seconds. Sorry.
Ooh, Guru Blaze is stuck. He has been lost. Don't worry, I will plug for time.
No, I had to throw some Taco Bell in the microwave. We live in the real world here.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. There we go. That's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Everyone loves the Taco Bell.
I ain't even worried if they. I don't care who knows that, dude. I gotta eat.
Hey man. Hey dude. Like
I just beat the owner of the bar I live next to in Bar Dice twice.
Ooh,
I got a lot of drinks, and I need to eat this Taco Bell that I bought earlier because I knew this was coming.
There you go. Hey man, look, I have me some Mountain Dew Game Fuel. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag sponsor. But we're not. But anyway, I love Game Fuel, and this is my energy drink. This is what I have to power me and everything, and I love this stuff. So don't worry, I've been drinking it on here also. But yeah, so with all that being said,
I'm going to grab the food and then we're ready.
Oh, he's got to go get the Taco Bell. Got to get that quesadilla. Got to get that chalupa. The quesalupa is really good. I like that. But the quesadilla...
Right. Wait for it to cool so you're not going to get any ASMR chewing right now.
Oh, yeah.
But next, our subject.
Yes. Next topic.
The Discord situation.
Yes. So I'll go ahead and bring this up. So this is actually pretty big. Now this comes from the Sony Interactive Entertainment blog. So this isn't even from PlayStation. This is from Sony themselves.
Yes, it is. So, announcing PlayStation's new partnership with Discord, and as a avid Discord user, when I do want to chat, I don't do it often, but
Mm-hmm.
Discord is what we're on right now.
Yeah. Yep. That's how this.
So if that isn't the only reason that needs to be stated,
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that that's what we're using right now.
Huzzah!
But Discord's the best.
Oh, dude, I enjoy Discord. Like that's how I've been.
I used Discord back when I was in college. And like us as students like created our own Discord like server amongst each other and just like would we would help each other with classwork and but it was just share memes and shit. Like it was a great time.
Yeah, dude, I love Discord. But if you could, Guru Blaze, could you go ahead and begin reading the paragraph that we have that Jim Ryan wrote about this happening?
I can. So, with the headline, popular communication service will integrate with your social experience on PlayStation beginning early next year.
Ooh, I like that.
So, Jim Ryan, president and CEO at PlayStation, we're constantly looking for new ways to enable players around the world to connect with one another, form new friendships and communities, and share fun experiences and lasting memories. It is in the spirit that we're excited to announce a new partnership with Discord, the communication service popularized by gamers and used by more than 140 million people every month around the world. Which, again, as we stated, like Discord is like it used to be like VoIP.
And it used to be for like mostly gaming, but now Discord is just
right.
Used for everything.
Back in the day, Discord wasn't around. Like what the first like Team VoIP was like the first thing I ever used.
Mm-hmm.
Like back when I was playing WoW and shit.
Yeah.
Like when you wanted to chat, like Discord is literally like the most comprehensive, robust communication system that integrates with all games and is like an automatic. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's no reason to use anything else, to be honest.
I agree.
So, he goes on to say that together our teams are already hard at work at connecting Discord with your social and gaming experience at PlayStation Network. Our goal is to bring the Discord and PlayStation experiences closer together on console and mobile strategy early next year, allowing friends, groups, and communities to hang out, have fun, and communicate more easily while playing games together. So again, I think this is a hugely smart move.
Oh yeah.
Not even like the fact that like they are able to even leverage a deal with Discord as like they're like 6 years old.
So
they've not been around for long, but like they are so ubiquitously used and so solid. Like, this is a genius move on Sony's part.
So here's the thing. This is what makes it even more fascinating, is that before this happened, before Discord and PlayStation made this partnership together, Microsoft was trying to own Discord. Microsoft, weeks ago, last month, by the time of recording, weeks ago, almost last month, Microsoft was trying to buy Discord, as in this is ours now. And Discord chose, because they were in negotiations, they were in talking and stuff, and then Discord said, no, we want to be independent, we don't want to be owned, we don't want to be taken in, we want to be independent. So that deal was axed. And then what makes it more, that's why I find it even more fascinating, and I'm just maybe more ironic, is that then right after that deal died, PlayStation comes in and goes, hey, do you just want to do a partnership? You own you, we don't own you, but hey, let's tag team, let's partner up. And that's what I find even more fascinating, is that Microsoft tried to buy Discord. And mind you, Microsoft has been on a buying spree for the past few years. Hence buying studios left, right, and center and trying to bulk up their game library.
They're trying to do a Disney.
Yeah, and mind you,
and literally just take a monopoly on the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm. They spent $7.5 billion on Bethesda, on ZeniMax. ZeniMax is now owned by Microsoft, Bethesda's entire library. So that is happening. Again, a little side note, some news that we have found out, or at least I believe this is either a leak or I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but Starfield, the big Bethesda game, that's going to be Xbox only, Xbox and PC. It will not come to PlayStation. Which that's a pretty big deal. So with coming back to Discord, having this happen it's so good. It's such a phenomenal use of using. You can now use Discord as now part of talking to your buddies when you're playing online, and I love it. I love it so much. It's great. It's such a good acquisition or a good deal, whatever it would be.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but like again, the article continues talking about Jim Ryan and his experience with like the co-founders of Jason Citron and Stan. I'm gonna mess this up. Vish Neveliski. I know I messed that up, but he just talks about how this kind of deal was like made of like how it was like, oh well, yeah, I'm buddies with them. So this is great. This is awesome. I love it. I'm excited.
No,
Yeah.
you know, and you know what? I'm just gonna read the rest of the article because it's literally like another fucking paragraph.
Go ahead.
All right, so to bring these experiences to life for our players, Sony Interactive Entertainment has made a minority investment as part of Discord's Series H round. From our very first conversation with co-founders Jason Citron and Stan Visensky,
Yeah.
Vishnevsky.
Yeah. Close enough.
I would. Oh no, that's it.
Oh well,
I
then,
made sure to get it.
there you go.
Vishnevsky. I was inspired by their lifelong love for gaming and our team's shared passion to help bring friends and communities together in new ways, empowering players to create communities and enjoy shared gaming experiences at the heart of what we do. So we are beyond excited to start this journey with one of the world's most popular communication services. It's always a privilege to work with great partners to bring fresh experiences to our fans, and we'll have more to share in the coming months. Stay tuned to our channels and at Discord for all the latest updates. It's like, it's just like, hey, you know what? We recognize that these guys are their own thing, and they do not need to cater to us in any way. But if we can get them with us, will be such an asset. Like us for them and them for us. Like, because Sony has its own built-in communication system.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And it's functional, but it's basic. Discord literally amplifies their ability to have gamers if they partner, depending on how they partner specifically. If you could just get Discord on your PS4, can you imagine that?
Oh, dude, that'd be great.
For free?
Oh, that'd be great. I love it.
Think about that. Think about literally how much you can do with that.
Yeah, I know, right? Whew.
And that's the thing. It's like they have a functioning base, but by partnering with Discord and recognizing they're the ones who know what they're doing, we know what we're doing. We can help each other, and we will be greater than the sum of our parts because of it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, which is great. This is awesome. I'm excited. Huzzah.
I don't see it leading to anything negative at the end of the day.
There you go. But let's move on. Next topic is that Sony forces Epic Games to pay for crossplay regarding Fortnite, and we're going to combine this with the Sony lawsuit. So this is kind of a big deal. This has been going on. Like, this is still going on currently. But so last week, or 2 weeks ago, there has been this lawsuit between Epic Games and Apple. It's Epic Games v. Apple. And pretty much what it is that Epic Games has gone and saying that, hey, because Apple owns the Apple Store, Epic Games feels I believe if I'm understanding this correctly, so I may be wrong. So, and if I am, please, correct me in the comments. To my knowledge, how I understand this is that Epic Games is pretty much mad that more of the cut of money, and I believe it's like, I think it's a 70-30 cut. So it's 30% of the money that's made from Fortnite, for example, goes to Apple, so on and so on. And this whole thing has been going down between Apple and Epic Games regarding to this whole thing. So one of the articles that I have, the first article I have, comes from The Verge. So what has happened is that we remember in the past, I think we talked about this before, where Epic Games with Fortnite is doing crossplay, but Sony did not want to do crossplay, unlike with Xbox and Nintendo and PC, where they're playing nice, but PlayStation's like, no, we don't want that. We don't want that to kind of mess with our ecosystem. We're going to separate ourselves from that. And then because of that, players were upset at that because they're like, but we want to play with their buddies who have Xbox. So this is what happened. So in the article, I'm going to begin. It appears that Sony has been holding out to offset potential revenue losses, which is what it is. So the next paragraph, beginning, quote, in the months leading up to Sony's decision to block Fortnite crossplay back in 2018, Epic Games had pleaded with Sony to enable crossplay. Emails in the Epic v. Apple case has been revealed. Quote, I can't think of a scenario where Epic doesn't get what we want. That possibility went out the door when Fortnite became the biggest game on PlayStation, said Joe Kreiner, Epic's vice president of business development. So the email says here, I'm going to go read this through, so bear with me. It says, this is what it says. Quote, we love working with PlayStation. We want this to be win-win. The longer this drags out, it will be less so. I can't think of a scenario where Epic doesn't get what we want. That possibility went out the door when Fortnite became the biggest game on PlayStation. Here is what I propose. 1, we give you the data you are asking for, plus the marketing data asked. 2, Epic deeply integrates Sony's esports API into UE4, the Unreal Engine 4, as an engine-level feature. We market and advertise it as a first-class citizen of the engine, maybe E3 announce, in parentheses, and we support it in Fortnite. 3, we announce crossplay in conjunction with Sony. Epic goes out of its way to make Sony look like the heroes. You get to pick where, when, and how. 4, Epic brands its E3 presence with PlayStation. We're planning on a 100-player celebrity pro-am with huge after-party. Budgets I've seen are huge, and it will be the biggest event at E3, parentheses. Maybe we announce with all the celebs on stage. Partnership plus, and parentheses. 5, Epic's willing to explore more items. Maybe we commit to a game at the launch of your next VR platform. Number 6, PlayStation Plus. Maybe we do something extra special for a month. Offer a unique character or something highly valuable to drive PS Plus adoption even more. 7, Epic extends the Sony company-wide UE4 license. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but your license to use Unreal Engine 4 expires in May of 2019. That license has some of the best terms we've ever offered for UE4. Let's make this a huge win for all of us. Epic's not changing its mind on the issue, so let's agree on it now. Joe Kreiner, Business Development, Unreal Engine, America's Epic Games. That's the entire thing. So it goes through and then pretty much continuing. So it's pretty much talking about how they're trying to sweeten the deal for PlayStation. Like, we need crossplay. We want crossplay. And PlayStation's like, no, because we don't want to mess with our ecosystem. But then, as of August of 2019, it appears that Sony may have found a worthy argument, a way to potentially siphon off money from its competitors in exchange for access to PlayStation players. The email correspondence doesn't reveal where the issue ultimately ended up, but a document entitled Cross-Platform Policy Requirements and Process from August 2019, after Sony's change, reveals how Sony may now approach crossplay, a platform revenue share forcing publishers to pay Sony a royalty whenever Sony players contribute more than a certain percentage to the bottom line of a cross-platform game to, quote, offset the reduction in revenue from Sony enabling crossplay. And then it's this big, huge, like, graph that shows, and if you want, of course, all of our links and sources are in the description, so please follow along. And it shows it right there. And then it goes on. Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney confirmed his testimony today, which is the time of this article, which would be May 3rd, that Sony may have found a worthy... let's see, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this wrong. There we go. Tim Sweeney confirmed in a testimony today that Sony is the only platform holder that requires the compensation for crossplay. Quote, in certain circumstances, Epic will have to pay additional revenue to Sony. If somebody were primarily playing on PlayStation but paying on iPhone, then this might trigger compensation. Sweeney also revealed that Epic had to agree to pay these additional fees to Sony in order to enable crossplay in Fortnite. Sony also stipulates in the policy that publishers cannot transfer virtual currency to or from PlayStation. There must be a setting to disable all cross-platform interactions. So that's kind of that. So I'm going to pause there, and I kind of want your opinion on this, Guru Blaze.
Well, I'll be honest. I think that the terms that Epic laid out are extremely reasonable and very beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that I saw there that they weren't trying to make it the best deal they could, while also still being a business themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit... like Sony wanting to collect royalties off of their players. They don't own us. Like it's I don't that's kind of very arrogant and presumptuous a little bit.
On Sony's end or on Epic?
On Sony's end, to think that they think that anyone who plays on a Sony branded console is like essentially their workforce. Like they are leveraging us, like you or me playing on PlayStation, wanting to play with someone who may not have a PlayStation because we don't, like, neither of us fucking care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I wanted to play with someone and they just happen to have a different console,
mm-hmm.
I would still want to be able to do it. And I don't care about the business aspect of it.
So,
you know.
So for me, I actually do look at this whole thing from the business standpoint.
I'm not saying it's not a good business decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like for them, like I get it, but it's also like there's kind of a little bit of arrogance behind like the idea that they think they can leverage, like, oh, you're gonna pay
no. Like the thing is that no. Like, because like the whole thing that was laid out, that was an email to Sony from Epic Games from what's his face?
Jim Kreiner.
Yes. From Joe Kreiner. That email is Epic trying to sweeten the deal. The thing is, I actually understand, whether I agree with it or not, I can understand why Sony is going, no, that's money that we lose. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Sony, out of the big three, yes, Sony sells TVs and cameras, and they have Sony Studios, movie studios, and so on and so on. The thing is that the most profitable division in Sony is PlayStation. It's not the TVs. It's not, the movies. It's not that. It's PlayStation. PlayStation makes way more money than any of the other divisions. Where with Microsoft, like when they spent money to buy Bethesda, that was not like, oh, we're going to take out a loan, or, oh, we're going to take it from the, these profits or come. No, that was literally free money that they could just F away. They could just, here's $7.5 billion. It doesn't matter because everyone has Windows. Windows is synonymous with Microsoft and all the purchases that go with it and all of that. And then Nintendo has the war chest, and their Nintendo's exclusives, Zelda, Pokemon, Mario, so on and so on, make money by themselves. Like just Pokemon Snap came out or new Pokemon Snap came out and like just like it's a profitable game, and the system is the most profitable system right now. So the thing is with this is that I understand why Sony is like no, because then that's money that we lose. If I'm playing on Xbox, or like if I'm playing on PlayStation, but I also have an Xbox, so I'm using my Xbox because I'm over at a friend's house or whatever, and then I buy V Bucks with it on Xbox. PlayStation doesn't get a cut of that. That's got money gone. So I understand why. Do I agree with it?
Well, right, like I said, it's business-wise, yes, I understand it, but it's also greed.
I mean, I guess. Here's the thing. The reason why we found this out is because of the trial between Epic Games and Apple, and Epic is challenging Apple for 30% revenue cut in court. Like they want more money. And the thing is that if Epic Games wins, that there's a lot of things that could happen. It's because Apple owns the store, and mind you, this relates that Sony is now kind of in a similar lawsuit where Sony's facing claims from a lawsuit that claims it's operating an unlawful monopoly by restricting purchases of PlayStation games to the PlayStation Store. As detailed in a Bloomberg report, the class action lawsuit filed by consumers notes that by restricting digital purchases to the official PlayStation Store, Sony Interactive Entertainment are able to charge up to 175% higher than physical games sold by retailers both online and in-store. With modern games like Returnal commanding $70, you can see why people are trying to find the best deals on games. Those who want to remain digital, however, are restricted to what Sony charges on the PlayStation Store. In the lawsuit, quote, Sony's monopoly allows it to charge super competitive prices, like massive competitive prices, for digital PlayStation games, which are significantly higher than their physical counterparts sold in a competitive retail market, and significantly higher than they would be in a competitive retail market for digital games. Sony stopped allowing third-party retailers such as Amazon from selling digital download codes for PlayStation games back in 2019. So if you go to Amazon or GameStop or Best Buy, you cannot go like, I want to buy Returnal digitally. I want to spend my money at Best Buy. You cannot buy the game digitally. You have to buy PlayStation credit, which then you put the code on your system, and then you buy the game. Which Nintendo has also done a similar thing, suspending European retailers from selling first-party digital codes. So it's almost a similar thing, and the whole thing is that like it makes sense. The PlayStation is a platform, Xbox is a platform. The reason why Xbox isn't dealing with this because it's Xbox and PC. So you have the Steam store. You can buy things off Steam, which goes to Steam, but then it also goes to Microsoft because of like whatever deals they have, because it's on Windows. That like with this, like the lawsuit regarding this it's nuts, and it's going to be continuing going on. But I would definitely say that like if Epic Games wins and going like, hey, we want our 30%, then other developers and everyone can then go and publishers can be like, we want our cut from PlayStation Store and the Microsoft Store, and so on and so on and so on. So there's a lot of things that could happen with this.
Yeah. No, I mean, but again, you know what? It's like, as much as I appreciate Sony, it's like you, like, don't think that we can't see what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
It's a very gray
you
area.
can't have like you know eh, like the goggles on that just don't allow you to see. Like they are. I'm not saying like it's 100% of the company, but it's like they're definitely trying to win everything when that means like unfairly playing the game
I,
at some times.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we could discuss this more because we do have a lot to go through. Um, but I, as I said, I do side with Sony. Now, when it comes to their digital store, what they should do is maybe make it more competitive, like whatever retail is doing, put it at the same price. So there are some like workarounds and stuff.
Well, that's
Um,
what I'm saying is like they're trying to just like make everything like you can't making something more expensive is
oh,
not making it exclusive.
well, the thing is, they haven't made. The thing is, actually, I'm sorry. I actually take my words back because you don't have to buy games digitally. You don't have to. You don't. You like. You can buy. There are like.
But especially now, like the reality of the situation is like how much easier is it to do that?
But this is what I'm saying is that this is a market thing. If the game is cheaper physically, because if you can go to GameStop or Best Buy to buy, let's say that let me see. Let's say if God of War 28. No, I'm sorry, that's a bad one. Um, let's say that Last of Us Part 2, which is still a more recent game or whatever. Let's say that Last of Us Part 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, they're $30 on sale at Best Buy or at GameStop because they're competing or whatever. But it's maybe 40 or 50 or at full price on PlayStation on the digitally because they're doing a different deal or whatever. And there's tons of deals that happen on the PlayStation Store. The market will fix itself. Why would I go and be like, if I would prefer digital, whatever, but if I see this game is 60 on PSN, but I can buy it for 30 on disc, I'd rather save $30 and buy it physically on a sale from Best Buy or GameStop than to spend it full price on the PSN. So the thing is that like if they choose to put it like that, fine, but like the market will fix itself. That's the way I see it. Because the retailers are trying to compete with each other. They're trying to like come to GameStop, come to Best Buy, come to Target, whatever. Buy it here. And you can do that. And then also it's Sony has to it's an approval thing. There's a bunch of stuff where at least I think so, but I could be wrong. But regardless, retailers can go ahead and compete with each other with physical games, where you can have the digital games if they're $60. Why would you spend that money digitally when you can get it cheaper physically or reverse? It can also work reverse too. If it's cheaper digitally, and if it's like 30 or whatever, or if you have plus, it makes it 20, and then it's like 40, 50, 60 physically. Buy it digitally. It's cheaper that way too. So I think it's more of a market thing when it comes to that.
Yeah, no, it's like again, like a lot of this comes out of solid business decisions,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like when does that become like morally reprehensible?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the law.
Because like it's so easy to just say, yeah, this is good for business,
Mm-hmm.
but like you're ultimately, it's like everyone wants to take advantage of everyone else.
Yeah. So, but I guess we'll see with the lawsuit, and I guess we'll discuss it again, kind of when all this
Well,
kind of.
that's the thing. It's like nobody ever thinks that they got the best deal because it's like unless they own everything,
Mm-hmm.
nothing will ever be truly satisfactory.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least in the case of the bigger companies. So it's just like, well, what do you expect to be happening here then?
Yeah.
Like
I don't. Yeah.
you can't want it all and then eventually not become the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess we'll see more when all this ends.
Right. We'll have to wait and see how it rules.
Yeah, but we have spent more time than I expected with this, but it's a very big topic. But let's move on. Next topic is that Sony trademarked Sunset Overdrive, and in an interview they said never say never about a Sunset Overdrive 2. So with this, I'm just going to make this really short. Guru Blaze, you can go ahead and do the next one. I'm just going to make this really short. But in a tweet from Nibelian, pretty much, and all the sources are in the description, but pretty much it appears that Sony has registered a trademark for Sunset Overdrive, which of course makes sense because Sony bought Insomniac, and Insomniac owns the IP for Sunset Overdrive, which is great. And Sunset Overdrive is a fantastic game on Xbox, and I would love to get it remastered for PlayStation. But it's now been trademarked. And in an interview with Insomniac about Ratchet and Clank, the new Ratchet and Clank game Rift Apart that's coming to the PS5, in that same interview, this is from GQ, they did ask about do they have any plans about it says, is there any life left in Sunset Overdrive franchise, given it used to be an Xbox exclusive? And it says, he says, I mean, never say never is my approach. Obviously, we're part of Sony now, but we own the IP. So there's nothing really stopping us other than we have a lot of really exciting things in the future. Hence this, maybe the next Spider-Man, So, and it says, the question would be, would you make another one? They said, I would. I think there's a lot of stories that can be told in that universe. I would love to return to it, and I had fun making that game. Which the interview is with the creative director of Insomniac, Marcus Smith. So that's pretty cool.
You know, I still have to play the first one. I'll be honest.
Of what?
Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, dude, it's like I played a bit of it.
No, and it looks good. It's just like, you know, I didn't have the system at the time it came out. Why I didn't ever end up having it.
Yeah. But yeah. So there you go. So I'm excited. I love Sunset Overdrive. It's great. But
I mean, I'm sure it'll be a fun game. I did play Infamous, so it's imagine that it would still be a very fun game.
Infamous is Sucker Punch. Infamous are the Ghost of Tsushima guys.
Right, but isn't it a similar type of game style?
I guess. Like, the thing is that the reason, like, it's really different. Like, it is that, like, you're jumping on stuff, but there's a lot of more momentum. You got to move around much more. But I guess it's that kind of similar gameplay, I guess. I mean,
well, I enjoyed that one, so I'm sure that if it was even better from what you're saying, that it would be worth it.
Yeah, but let's move on. Next topic is that PlayStation 5 shortages are continuing. Guru Blaze, I'll let you take this one.
All right. So, on IGN, Sony now expecting PS5 shortages to continue into next year. PlayStation 5 stock looking to remain scarcer than planned into 2022, which makes me glad that I happen to have gotten my new PC right before the chip shortage.
Huzzah!
Just saying that. Like, I lucked out.
There you go. There you go.
So, it was never going to be easy to launch a new console in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, and Bloomberg now reports that Sony has spoken to a group of analysts about the supply constraint issues affecting the PlayStation 5 supplies, reportedly warning that shortages will continue into 2022. Quote, I don't think demand is calming down this year, and even if we secure a lot more devices and produce many more units of the PlayStation 5 next year, our supply wouldn't be able to catch up with the demand. Hiroki Todoroki reportedly told the analysts.
Yep.
Global shortages of semiconductors, which are used in almost all computing devices, has made it increasingly difficult for the continuing demand of the PS5 consoles to be met. Semiconductors are a crucial part of the PS5 architecture, and shortages have led to delays in the console's production cycle.
Yes.
Ever since the and essentially, like, that's what I'm saying is like I got my computer with my video card in it.
Yeah.
Is a it's like a 2060 NVIDIA, But it's like, even the it's like the chip shortage has literally affected all computing technology.
Oh,
Like
I know.
everything. It's like now, if you wanted to get a video card, it would be just as hard.
Oh, I
It's
know.
not even. It's literally because they don't have what they need to make it.
Yeah, like, and that's and again, like with all of this happening, like it makes sense, and the demand of a PS5 are absolutely ridiculous, and the scalpers.
And I still want one, but it's like I always had the idea that I was gonna have to wait, so it's like I'll just wait until I can get one.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about this before, but the scalpers are making it much harder to get. Now, mind you, they're trying to amp up the supply, but the demand of the PS5 is still really, really, really high. And add on the games that are coming out, God of War Ragnarok or whatever the next God of War game is, Horizon Forbidden West, Rift Apart, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and others, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, this more delays, or it's the shortages are going to continue. But let's move on. Next topic is that there have been next-gen PS VR leaks, or maybe announcement. This is from an exclusive article from Upload VR, and pretty much in this article, it talks about, like, exclusive next-gen PS VR is 4K with favorited rendering and vibration feature. And we talked about this before. We did it in one of our episodes. We talked about the new VR that they're working on for the PS5, like the PS5 VR, and is pretty much what it says that we're gonna be getting like these like really cool, almost like it's almost looks like the controllers that are used in the Oculus, and it looks great. Like, it looks so good. But from the article, let me go ahead and grab this. So, Sony's next-gen VR headset for the PS5 is significantly higher resolution, inside-out tracking, a vibration monitor, and even favorited rendering. Reliable sources tell Upload VR. So this has been announced, but it's sources from within Sony have told Upload VR about this. We don't know the product's name, but multiple sources tell us Sony shared details with partners. Those details include a resolution of 4,000 by 2040 pixels, so 2000 by 2040 per eye, a lens separation adjustment dial, and gaze tracking capable of favorited rendering. A motor in the headset can be used by developers to give direct haptic feedback. That's cool. And it kind of just keeps going about, it talks about what, like, the next generation, because it shows the controllers and stuff, what their speculation, and it's kind of more about how the landscape could be. So
if we could have one,
yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing.
But it's like, as hard as it may be to get one, it's turning out to be worth getting.
Yeah. Which, side note, if you want to see us discuss what our thoughts of the new PSVR, or like Sony announcing this, you can go ahead and watch Evolution of PSVR, Dualshock'd episode number 46. So go ahead and check that out. There'll be an eye up here. But yeah, so like, I'm excited. I love my PSVR, and like, I want to use it with my PS5. Yes, please. So I'm in.
Well, I don't have a PS5 or a PSVR, but I've used a PSVR, and Beat Saber is fun.
Beat Saber's great. So yeah, let's move on. Next topic is that Skull and Bones does still exist. It just has been delayed. Again. Go ahead, Guru Blaze.
So, Skull and Bones has been pushed back yet again. Ubisoft confirmed the ship sim is now targeting a release date sometime between 2022 and 23. The latest Skull Bones delay was confirmed in Ubisoft's full-year earnings report of 2020. Ubisoft boasted its robust product lineup for 2021, including Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Rider Republic, The Division Heartland, and Roller Champions, but also snuck in the new Skull and Bones delay into its Skull and Bones was originally announced E3 2017, set to be released in 18. Skull and Bones later delayed to 2019, then 2020, and again to 2021.
Which is now being delayed again to 2022,
right.
2023.
Right. This is just such a short article, it's just worth reading the whole thing because it's all the info we got.
Yeah.
It was announced as a standalone game, seemed to build top of the popularity of the ship combat gameplay from the Assassin's Creed series. The game's creative director, Elizabeth Pellin, announced that the development team expanded and there is a new vision for the game. Ubisoft Singapore is in charge of the project, but is joined by Ubisoft studios from Berlin, Chengdu, Kiev, Paris, and the Philippines to help fulfill the expanded scope.
Yeah.
Which I can only imagine.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft is currently presenting its full year earnings, so again, it's basically up in the air. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar with the Skull and Bones game.
So, Skull and Bones is...
But I did just recently start playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
There you go.
So I can imagine that it would be fun.
Yep, because it's literally they're taking that combat that they used in Assassin's Creed 4, partially in 3 because that's where it kind of began, but then 4 very much fleshed it out, and in Assassin's Creed Rogue, that like though both 4 and Rogue very much use ship combat, and it's so much fun. And I remember in 2017 when they announced it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the best part of Assassin's Creed 4? Yes, please." Oh yeah, I can, like, in one of my buddies, he was like, I love Assassin's Creed 4. I hate Assassin's Creed 4. I love it because I get to be a pirate. I hate it because there are parts when I'm not a pirate. And I'm like, me being the Assassin's Creed fan, I'm like, but that's the point. That's the story. And he just rolls his eyes at me. So yeah, I mean, it's been delayed. I'm glad it still exists. I thought this was just in development hell, but it still exists. It kind of is in development hell, but it seems like the shift, like they have a new vision, is it's going to be more full of microtransactions and crap like that, and we'll discuss that in our PlayStation conversation. So yeah, that's how I feel.
There's not too much else to say about it, honestly.
Exactly. So let's move on. Next topic is that there are 25 PS5 exclusives incoming. So this article comes from Wired, and pretty much it says the PlayStation 5 is starting to look like the revolution that it has promised. So it goes from, let me go ahead and pull up. So in a Zoom call, Jim Ryan, pretty much in the world of gaming, PlayStation reigns supreme, but it isn't Supreme, the brand. Whatever. Anyway, it's not engineering scarcity to create marketing buzz like the streetwear company is trying to get its $400 console into the customer's hands, which is exactly why, in the same breath that he's using to discuss how the PS5 is outpacing even its mega-selling predecessor, Sony Interactive Entertainment president Jim Ryan is apologizing. So this is kind of like an interview or a little like bit. So he goes, "We're going to as hard as we can to ameliorate that situation," Ryan says on a Zoom call, mere hours after receiving his second COVID-19 vaccination shot. "We see production ramping up over the summer and certainly into the second half of this year, 2021. And we would hope to see some sort of return to normality in terms of balance between supply and demand during that time." And then it kind of goes in to talk about like how scarce everything is, which we talked about. So promises of amelioration may feel like a cold comfort, but whether you're among the 7.8 million who already have a PS5 or the millions who might have one if not for that whole unprecedented global disruption thing, the real question is whether the PS5 is delivering the experience. Are developers harnessing its feature set to create games that weren't possible before? Have first-party and indie studios navigated the pandemic well enough to keep the pipeline of exclusives stocked? Is the PS5 proving to be, as PlayStation chief architect Mark Cerny promised 2 years ago, The short answer is yes. The slightly longer and more accurate answer is that it's getting there. And then it kind of continues on. Let me pull up the part. So here we go. It talks about this article. Kind of talks about how Housemark is really shown with Returnal. It's really showing off the PS5, which I agree. Continuing the article. Housemarque isn't a first party developer. So they're not owned by Sony. What's coming from the collection of companies under PlayStation Studios umbrella bears out the breadth of depth that's in the pipeline. In June, Insomniac will follow up Miles Morales with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, the newest installment of the franchise. Later this year, Guerrilla Games will release Horizon Forbidden West as a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. And then according to Herman Hulst, a Guerrilla co-founder whom Jim Ryan tapped to lead PlayStation Studios in 2019, the group has more than 25 titles in development for the PS5, nearly half of which are entirely new IPs. Quote, there's an incredible amount of variety originating from different regions, Hulst says. Big, small, different genres. In many of those cases, Sony's shared services became a lifeline for studios navigating lockdown. So according to Hulst, who is he's head of Guerrilla, but also head of PlayStation Studios, 25 new IPs. 25 games, half of them new IPs. So yeah, what do you think of this?
I think, again, like, that's great, and I think that it's definitely, like, I always was rooting for, like, the PS5 was always seemed the superior system as soon as it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Be it aesthetically, or the fact that out of all the games mentioned, the only ones I wanted to even play were on the PS5.
Yeah.
Even out of the original, like, 5 games it had, and that's always been its biggest weakness, is that it has like no other. I mean, you can play a lot of PS4 games on it, but it has like no library of its own, like, at all. Like, we're talking 10 games maybe.
We're talking, but you're talking about, like, you need a PS5 in order to play these games, right?
Right.
Okay.
There's not many.
I mean, that is correct. I can't go ahead and say that you're wrong. And, like, it's really, like, the big ones would be Returnal, Demon Souls Remaster.
Yep.
Rift Apart is coming out.
Yeah, but, like, that's the thing, is, like, the fact that you have to think is the proof. All I'm saying is like, there's barely enough to make a list of.
I mean, but here's the thing, like, what
at this point.
But and
especially when it came out.
But the other thing is, like, I can also be a counter, like, and maybe I'm trying to do, like, Buddhism, or comparing apples to oranges. But, like, Microsoft doesn't even have an exclusive. They were supposed to get Halo Infinite.
They do have exclusives, but the only exclusives they had are the same exclusives as 5 years ago.
No. Like, but what their biggest game when the Series X was going to launch was Halo Infinite, and because of the reveal or the gameplay demo that was shown at Inside Xbox, people were like, "This looks like a PS2 game," and then they were like, "Well, back to the drawing board." Hence why it's been delayed into this year. Which I'm like, you how is it that you don't know how to go ahead and do this? Like, yeah, Miles Morales sold that, like, thing. Even for me, I'm like, gonna get my PS5, gonna get Miles Morales, and gonna get Godfall because there it is. But Miles Morales is the reason why I pay that, and Demon Souls. But, like, Demon Souls by itself, big reason to have a PS5. So, like, I get it. I understand, because there's not that many games. But at least there's something there where Xbox hasn't been able to do anything on that end. I mean, maybe within this year, do you need a PS5? No, because what is it?
No, that was my opinion from even before it even was, like, an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
I always had the, like, concept was like, I'm gonna just wait till it's out. I want to just listen to the, through the grapevine. I want to see if it lives up to what it's supposed to be, then I'll buy one, because I can for free let others buy and judge it for me, and then I get a good conception of its capability.
Yeah.
And then I can make my decision to purchase it. Yeah. Now, I didn't expect, the world to fall apart for a bit, which affects everything. And then now, like, it's like trying to get your hands on, like, when the Nintendo NES Classic and SNES Classic came out. Like, everyone wanted one, you just couldn't get them.
Yeah.
Because like they're just that was before the pandemic, and it's still like they couldn't meet the demand.
Yeah, and then they limited it too. So I mean,
maybe that's why Sony's being so aggressive, because they're so scared of the future now that it's been shook so much. And they could go for any video game system.
I think the thing is that, like, for instance, Horizon Forbidden West, that's going to be a PS4, PS5 game. Like, there will be a PS4, there'll be a PS4 to PS5 upgrade or whatever, or you buy for the PS5. But like that, I would see that as a PS5 game. Ragnarok, I think, is also they're going down that route too. That hasn't been confirmed. I think that hasn't been confirmed. But like PlayStation is still like, we want to make new. We're still going to support the past generation. We're still going to like do PS4 to PS5, and I think they did backwards compatibility. But I think the other reasons that they went, PS5s are hard to get, and it's even worse than it was back in 2013 trying to get a PS4. Because I remember getting a PS4 like day one, and then like by maybe like summer, like by around maybe this time, there were a bit more PS4s able to be found in a while. Like, it took a year. It took about a year before PS4s were like, you could just go into any store and buy a PS4, and it was there.
Yep. I got mine used 7 years ago. Still 500 gigabyte before there were terabyte models, and still going strong.
So with the PS5, let me see how can I word this. Do you need a PS5 right now? No. Like, you can
no, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't need it. I happen to get the PC too. Like I always wanted one. Finally got into a position where I could just buy my own.
Yeah.
And I did, and it's better than any PS5 that there ever is.
Yeah.
Like, as far as its capability. However, I still want a PS5.
No, I get you.
It's so sexy.
It is. I guess
it's so sexy.
Yeah, I know. It's nice.
Like, I'm not gonna say I can't not appreciate the mini fridge obelisk, most basic shape type of idea when you want to create a console for like the new generation and make it look like something so old that it becomes alien. But the PS5 looks just so sleek.
I know.
And like, I want it because it'll play everything I already have and the stuff that comes out for it.
Yeah.
Plus, I'll still have a PS4, so I'll just use my PS4 for all my PS4 games.
Yeah.
And only use the PS5 for the PS5 game.
There you go. But yeah.
And that's the move.
There you go. But let's move on. Speaking of PS5, we have some new DualSense controller colors. Guru Blaze, bring up the PlayStation blog and tell me about it, my man.
All right, here we go. So, even though I don't have a PS5, you bastard.
Hey man, still get the controller. Get your accessories so that way you're ready.
Dude, I'm gonna come to your house and play it because I want to just see PS5.
Hey, social distancing. Social distancing.
Yeah, I'll wear a mask and play a PS5.
Darn it! I was trying to keep you out of my house.
Yeah,
Darn
well,
it.
you can't because I'm too sneaky.
But social distancing. I'll use it to my. Anyway, go ahead. Tell me about these new colors.
So the new colors for the DualSense wireless controller is Midnight Black and Cosmic Red.
Ooh.
Since the launch of the PS5 console last November, we've been delighted to hear all the amazing feedback experiences about the DualSense wireless controller from the PlayStation community.
Love it.
So basically, they're super pumped about having extra colors, which is, been a long time coming for that system. Like, which ones you got?
I got the
By the
normal.
way.
I got the normal white because that's all that there is from Sony, like from PlayStation.
You know what's interesting?
What?
That I just thought about
What?
is the PS5 controllers came in the default white, whereas all previous PlayStation controllers came in default black.
Exactly. And I see this black controller, and I'm like, this one's mine. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy that black one because it's sexy.
And it can't, and it takes so long to look like it's dirty.
Oh yeah. So yeah, go ahead and tell me about it. So it pretty much, if you pull up the PlayStation blog is in our description. You can go ahead and see it if you haven't seen it already. But it's pretty much the cosmic black is literally black on black, and then the midnight red is that where the white is
red and black, which is my favorite color combo other than magenta and black.
I want that too because that's just God of War colors, and I'm like, oh god, if I get a red system. Oh.
So I want that, but I want it to be hot, like magenta,
Ooh.
like magenta and black.
Ooh.
I'm talking some slick '80s vibes.
Mm-hmm. So
and maybe orange analog sticks and just blow our minds.
Ooh, I like that. So
I want Hotline Miami controller.
So the good thing about these controllers is that you can pre-order them right now, at least as of recording, on PlayStation's own website, along with Amazon and Best Buy, if I believe I'm correct. So I know that I'm going to go pre-order mine. I know I'm going to get the black one, and I'll probably maybe pre-order the red one. I believe those come out in early June. That's when they're released. So I'm definitely going to be pre-ordering this. This is gorgeous. These are sexy.
I mean, I would get one just because it looks good.
There you go.
I would just put it on the mantle.
There you go. All right, but let's move on. Last topic is that Housemarque is searching for Returnal autosave solution, but it's not that easy. This is coming from IGN. So we have talked about Returnal, how you have to do one whole run, and a lot of complaints about it is that if you don't have the time or you're not able to or whatever, there should be an autosave. There should be some way that you can save your progress in between your runs. So, Housemarque says that it's heard the feedback from fans, but it's implementing a save feature. But that implementing a save feature is easier said than done. Quote, we understand that there are some systems in place that are currently a hindering factor. Housemarque marketing director Mikhail Havari told Axios. Havari's comments dampens hopes of a solution that would enable players to quit without fear of losing their progress. While other roguelikes like Hades includes a quick save solution, that remains the tension of permadeath. It's clearly not so easy to implement such a feature into Returnal. Other developers have sounded off on this subject. Quote, I often see players exclaim how easy it is to add something, especially if other games have it. Spelunky designer Derek Yu told Vice Games last week. But every team and game has different priorities, and nothing is really as trivial as it seems from the outside, which I do agree. As one of the first so-called AAA roguelites, Returnal stands out for... Okay, so it's talking about Returnal. So yeah. So it says, still difficult as it is, Havari says Housemarque is looking for a solution. So this is hard because it wasn't implemented into the game in the first place, but they're trying to figure out a way so that way, fans and players can, play it. But currently, quote, we currently don't know exactly what it is, so it's very difficult to announce anything, but I think there's a lot of different people looking for different things. So what I find fascinating about this is that I love it, because the thing is that people go, oh, you could just, patch in a quick save thing. It's just you patch and done. Sometimes it's not that easy. That's why I agree with them, is because the way they made their game in the first place didn't have that in mind, because they wanted that difficulty. Resogun is difficult. Nex Machina is hard. Like, it's the same kind of thing. And they're like, people have been like, oh, no, you just patch it in,
Hey, you know what? I've been playing Sekiro, and it's fucking hard, but I still love it.
Well, yeah, and, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, I agree with them, with Havari, where you can't, sometimes...
They are the creators of their game.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent, the players can have a say, but if they're fundamentally trying to go for what they're trying to go for, that's like, you can't just say, oh, make it so that I can, like, that's the whole point. It's like when you first play Dark Souls, you have to be punished and baptized in fire until you just eventually have a moment where it's your skill. That's why I've always liked those types of games. Bloodborne, Sekiro, Dark Souls, Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't played Returnal, but I can tell, fucking any of those games with those kind of tactical strategy combat mechanics.
Yeah.
It's your skill alone that allowed you to prove yourself over your obstacles. And that is the greatest thing for me in a game.
But what I'm saying is that it's not, because they're still working on a way to put in a way that you can save in between runs.
There shouldn't be some sort of, I can agree that
they're still working on figuring that out.
People have lives to live, and they can't live on it's an unrealistic ask.
But what I'm saying is that what I agree with is what it sounds like. People are like, how hard is it to put in an autosave? How hard is it?
Dude,
it's that.
Game development is no joke, and it is beyond what most people can even fathom.
It's that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. It's not about,
Because I've tried my hand at it, and it's a lot.
Like that, but that's what I'm talking about. Is like, it's not about, oh, should there be an autosave or should
being
there
a game developer is basically trying to be a god.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So, like, look, and look, I'm happy
and make it work.
Look, I'm happy that Housemarque is trying to implement that, and it is frustrating. It's a hard game. So I applaud them for, like, we hear you, we're going to do that, but it's not as easy as putting in a patch and doing it. And mind you, they have been trying to do that with different patches, but it's been a bit wonky. We haven't talked about it, but, like, there have been reports on different patches that Housemarque has been doing to try to do that, because that's been the biggest point of contention about Returnal, is that, I only have an hour or two. I don't have, I can't go ahead and do a 5-hour run from one biome to the next. Like, I don't have that kind of time. I only have, like, maybe an hour. And what people have done is leave their systems on standby mode, and that's the only way that you can kind of keep your progress, is keep your PS5 in standby mode. So I applaud Housemarque for trying to do that, but people, like, like players who are like, oh, you should just patch it in. It should just be... No, it's not that easy. It is not that easy, and it's like, no. So that's my whole take on it.
It does look pretty damn good, though.
Yes. So, all right, and that is all of our news. We have one more thing to talk about, but that is going to be our PlayStation conversation. So, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, this is our PlayStation conversation.
PlayStation.
Yup.
Y'all. All right, so we kind of discussed this a little bit before in News of the Nation. But Ubisoft, this is an article coming from Video Game Chronicle, and it looks like Ubisoft is insisting on pushing free-to-play. for their AAA games. They want to put their AAA games, so like Division, Assassin's Creed, so on, which the Division Heartland is going to be a free-to-play game. And in the article, it says Ubisoft has moved to clarify comments made in its latest earnings result call that will be investigating in more, quote, high-end free-to-play games. In a statement issued to VGC on Wednesday, the Assassin's Creed publisher claimed that its stated intention to expand its free-to-play offerings does not mean it will reduce the number of premium games it releases, so like, the normal games that we've been playing. Our intention is to deliver a diverse lineup of games that players will love across all platforms. We are excited to be investing more in free-to-play experiences. However, we want to clarify that this does not mean reducing our AAA offering. Our aim is to continue to deliver premium experiences to players such as Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Riders Republic, and Skull and Bones, to name a few, while also expanding our free-to-play portfolio and strengthening our brands to reach even more players. This is continuing from the earnings call that we talked about earlier. Ubisoft CFO Frederick Duge said the company's intention was to become less reliant on premium game releases by releasing more free-to-play experiences based on its biggest brands, Assassin's Creed, Division, blah, blah, blah. Quote, in line with the evolution of our high-quality lineup that is increasingly diverse, we are moving on from our prior comment regarding releasing 3 to 4 premium AAA games per year. It is indeed no longer a proper indication of our value creation dynamics. For example, our expectation for Just Dance and Riders Republic are consistent with some of the industry's AAA performers. Additionally, we are building high-end free-to-play games to be trending towards AAA ambitions over the long term. This is purely a financial communication evolution and doesn't change the fact that we continue to expect a high cadence of content delivery, including powerful premium and free-to-play new titles. Posting on Twitter, one of Ubisoft's senior analysts claimed the company's comments were in reference to free-to-play becoming a larger share of the revenue pie, not an indication that there'll be less traditional paid games like Assassin's Creed. And then it says its fiscal year ending on March 31st, 2022, includes the releases of Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine by September 30th, Riders Republic, The Division Heartland, and Roller Champions. And it has been confirmed in its earnings call that there are no AAA games scheduled for release during the second half of the fiscal year, which would be around Christmas time. So pretty much they're pretty much going to get their games out by the summer, early fall, so like August, September, and that's about it. So the reason why this is our PlayStation conversation is that Ubisoft's focus on free-to-play games is
like the Roman Empire finally falling.
No, the thing, it's not the Roman Empire, because like the thing is that like
no, I'm just talking in general, the video game industry, the fact that free-to-play games have intravenously just taken a stranglehold on gaming as a medium is like one empire falls eventually to something that becomes inevitable.
And the thing is that like I don't like the free-to-play model because it's the mobile games have screwed everything up. Like
I don't even
like
I played the only mobile game I ever played in earnest for a little bit was Plague Inc.
Yeah, and look, I've played my share of mobile games too. I do like,
but on my phone, I don't game on my phone. If I want to game, I'm gonna actually like game.
So
I don't consider most games on the phone to be like worth like. I don't want to be on my phone more than I need to be.
And
I guess.
The thing is that like with the whole the mobile market and that kind of thing, like the most popular games like out there, period, are Fortnite, Among Us, Fall Guys, Warzone. That's a free to play game. You don't need Cold War. You don't need Modern Warfare in order to play Warzone. You can literally play that. Apex Legends. All of that is free to play. And Ubisoft is going like, we want to make more of our games free to play. Now, to me, again, I think we talked about this before. It seems like this is the common theme of this episode, but like it also seems like, there's no war in Bossing say all of our games are not going to be free to play, you know? Because the whole thing is like, well, but because the thing is with free to play is that when you go free to play, it's not about making one solid game. Now, mind you, in my experience, Ubisoft has not been doing a solid job when it comes to their newer games. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is not an Assassin's Creed game. Like, it's not. It's a good game, but it's not an Assassin's Creed game. It literally just feels like it's there. The lore doesn't fit. The story is weird. Valhalla's a bit better, but there's still lore problems with it. And it just kind of feels average. Like, it's just okay. And because, like, again, they made it smaller. And I thought when Ubisoft, we're gonna make Valhalla smaller, not as big as Odyssey. I'm like, oh, great. So it's gonna be smaller but more dense. It's gonna be the size of a lake but deep as an ocean. But no, it was just smaller. And there's still microtransactions. You get the Helix points, and there's that in Division and all of the other stuff. And look, I've spent money on microtransactions. Like, I've spent money on Destiny 2 to buy ornaments and finishers and stuff for my armor and guns. I'm not gonna, like, it is a thing, but like I don't know the quality of what Ubisoft will be doing with this. I don't know. I'm probably rambling. Tell me your opinion, Guru, please.
At which point?
Just a free to play. Like what do you think about Ubisoft turning their games, or like kind of shifting their focus to free to play, or just kind of the free to play genre in general?
Well, it's like I was saying, like they've essentially seen like those who are resistant to change are destined to perish. So I think that the long and sustained success of, they say free to play, I read it as battle royale.
Okay.
That is what they're gonna do, at least to start. They might come out with something more interesting. I'll never, you never know. But the battle royale mechanic has been so successful and so consistently successful, even until now, that they're essentially saying, just like where Fortnite, and then there was Apex, there's Overwatch, and like it just keeps going, Warzone. Like, it's just like the evolution of the battle royale type game, which we have Japan to thank for, because that movie's dope.
Yeah.
You've never seen battle royale, like that literally is what the Hunger Games and all of that stuff is based on.
Yep.
But ultimately, it comes down to, like, that's what I think they're basically trying to do, but without saying, like, we're following the mold, we're going to do a high-end free-to-play. So, like, again, but the thing is, like, as a company making a game that's free-to-play, it's going to be free-to-play, but they're planning on and banking on making, like, buco bucks off of microtransactions, because they have to have some kind of return for all that time they're investing in order to...
And like, game, like, for instance, I've talked about Destiny before. Like, currently Destiny 2 is a free to play game, but you have to buy expansions. Like, you still have to buy Beyond Light. You can buy the season pass, or like, if you buy the season pass, you get access to pretty much everything as it comes out throughout the season, and then other rewards and other things. Or you can choose not to, and then there'll come a time when you can play it. But the thing is with Destiny is that Destiny used to be a paid game. Like it was with Activision, and that's like the reason why it's Destiny 2. There's a Destiny 2 that exists, even though Bungie did not want to make a sequel, because the way it worked is that it was like I believe every 3 years, every 3 or 4 years, there would be a sequel, like a numbered Destiny game. Because it was the first year was Destiny 1, and then you had the next year was Taken King, and then you had and then it was Destiny 2. So with every 3 years, there we go, or every other year, whatever the hell. And with that, there's a lot of foundation on that game. And with a free-to-play game, I'm not saying there isn't a foundation to Fortnite, because there is, but like, mind you, with Fortnite had to battle a bunch of stuff. Like, it was just Fortnite Save the World before it became the Battle Royale. Then it became the Battle Royale, and then it kind of like launched off of that. And it came off of the popularity of PUBG. PUBG is the granddaddy of Battle Royales. Mind you, who talks about them anymore? And the reason that is because it was bland. Like, it's a good game, gameplay wise, but they didn't give you more content. They didn't give you more stuff. And we talked about how, people at Epic are like working themselves to the bone. Like, there has to be new stuff every week, every month, so on and so on. So, like, the whole process of Ubisoft trying to make their games triple A free to play. And there has to be new content and stuff. So they'll come another Assassin's Creed games, Assassin's Creed Japan, because everyone wants to be a samurai.
God damn it! I hope so. Fuck. Dude.
But do you really want to play Assassin's Creed Japan free to play?
I don't care. I'm gonna do it, and it'll be free, and I'm not gonna pay it. I just want to see, the fact that they haven't had ninjas in the Assassin's Creed series is a shame. It is a monument to man's arrogance.
I would rather pay $60, $70 plus dollars.
Oh, I would rather have a full game of that. But that's just a personal thing if they were to go that way, because I've been wanting that for so long.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, you're going to get a free to play game, and they have to keep that active, and then what'll happen is
Well, you already got Ghost of Tsushima online, so honestly, it's not even.
Or we can talk about Warzone. Activision just pretty much forced all of their studios to work on Warzone outside of Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward, who are in charge of making the yearly Call of Duty games. I think this year, 2021, is Sledgehammer this year. I think they're the next ones in line. We don't have an announcement. We'll probably hear it at E3, but everyone's working on Warzone. What are you going to do? Are you going to have a good number of your Ubisoft studios working on Assassin's Creed, and then you'll have Far Cry, and then you'll have Rainbow Six? Those are your three? That's it? Come on. I don't know. I don't. Free to play should exist, because free to play is fine. But what you're gonna take your AAA games, Ubisoft has made mobile games. There's a Tom Clancy game on mobile that uses characters from Tom Clancy lore, other past games and current games and stuff, from Splinter Cell and Hawks.
I was gonna say, dude, I love Splinter Cell. Sam Fisher's a beast.
I know, right? But Ubisoft is like, Sam Fisher's going to be in this thing, and but where's the next Splinter Cell game? We'd rather have another Splinter Cell game.
I have been waiting for another Splinter Cell game for fucking I don't know how long.
Exactly. So,
I don't know why. I can't fathom why. Everyone wants another Splinter Cell game.
Dude, I don't get it either. I mean, they came from nowhere when they were like, yeah, we're remaking Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. And I'm like, what? This is one of my favorite games. What? And I'm glad it got delayed. It's coming out in May, or actually, no, it's coming out in the fall of this year, because they keep working on it. And I'm like, good. I'd rather have this be good than not. So keep keep going. I don't keep going. I'm okay with having it be delayed, but like. I don't want a free-to-play Prince of Persia game. Hey, go ahead and be the prince. Go ahead and do all these acrobatic stuff. Do all this stuff. Give us $1 to open up this premium puzzle room, or whatever bull. Hey, give us $1 if you're having problems with this puzzle room. Give us $1 or two, and we can take away the obstacles or blah blah blah. Like,
when does it end?
exactly, and that's why I'm like, oh great, and like you're gonna make it grind much longer, and still and they've already done that with Assassin's Creed. They've already done that with Assassin's Creed, the level, your power level of Alexios or Alexandra in Odyssey or Ivor in Valhalla. Like your power level doesn't matter. Like your power level is there, so that way they can force you to grind. And then that way, you unlock this thing. And then you can buy time savers, and you get double XP, and blah, 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 blah. Like, they will never end, and that's why I don't like this. Because at least if it's a paid game, I don't have to buy the Helix points. I don't have to buy the time saver, even though it's pretty much built into the game. Ugh. But when it comes to a free-to-play game, they're going to make you go, hey, even Destiny's having this problem. Destiny with its transmog system. It's a freaking mess. I actually discussed this on our last episode because it hasn't happened yet. Now it's actually been active. Because the new season just started. And pretty much it will take you 125 hours in order to do the whole process and get the one armor set to get your 5, and you get 10 per season. So there's a cap to it, and Bungie's doing all of this needless grinding because you kill enemies to get a synth cord, which then you need to bring 150 synth cord to Ada 1, which is the vendor, to do a bounty, which then you do the bounty, which can be hard and take forever depending on which bounty it is, to then get a one synth weave, which then you can use to go and transmog your armor set or whatever. And you have to do this, and it's been found that so you get synth cord by killing enemies, and you only get a synth cord every 2 minutes. So it's not like every enemy you kill or every other enemy or whatever that you get a synth cord. No. You kill one enemy, you get a synth cord. There's an internal timer in the game that is 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes, you'll kill a guy and you'll get one synth cord, which will take about 5 hours just to do that. Then you have to go ahead and do the bounty, which can take 10 plus whatever. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And I understand why it's there, because it's the Eververse. You have to go to if you want to go ahead and make it faster, spend money at the Eververse. And again, that's non-negotiable to that's going to be in the Eververse. And I understood it. I talked about it before, no, I understand why this is the case. I understand why, but the process does not need to be this convoluted and stupid. We have to go kill enemies and then go get a bounty and then go do the bounty and then come and now they've made it longer and grindier, which I thought it was going to be kill 150 enemies. That's easy. I do that all the time. And then you just go do the bounty, and that's where the grind is. Nope. It's killing the enemies, which takes 5 hours. Do the bounty, which could take 10 plus. It's dumb. It's 125 to do the cap, to hit the cap. That's what it is, to do the 10 synth weaves. But that's the whole thing. The Eververse is non-negotiable, and it makes sense because it's a business. It's still stupid, but that's what's going to happen with these Ubisoft free-to-play games. That's just what's going to happen. And Ubisoft is worse. Ubisoft is way worse. Ubisoft is on the point of Activision when it comes to their stuff. You need these time savers in order to do anything in these freaking Assassin's Creed games. The time savers make it then bearable instead of the whole long-ass grind they have to do. So, yeah. So, I don't know.
Yes. I know, the thing is like I said earlier, it's like when you have a free to play model, it's like you still need to make a profit as a company. So it's like it's almost just now it's like if you have a free to play game comes out, it's gonna have like the ability to buy everything.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, and because there are people who will,
Mm-hmm.
and
And that's
otherwise
and that's what they're going for. They want the
they're
whales.
not making any ROI on anything if they don't do that.
Yeah, because you can make more money on the whales, who will spend like all of that money getting getting the stuff. Like it's crazy, and it's infuriating.
It's a smaller but more constant stream
Exactly.
than just the game being purchased and then there's no payment.
Because the
Yeah,
when a game comes out, the most money that you will make is when the game hits the stores. It's the
right.
release day or release like week/weekend. Pretty much that time is when you will make the most money, and then after that, it falls off a cliff. It's not even like a steady, slow decline. Nope, straight down. Um, but if you
Unless you're Grand Theft Auto 5.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
That game's held its value.
yeah. Eesh. But like, but even then, like it's tapered off. It's tapered off, and now, but
It
what?
has, but I feel like that's the tippy top of like a game that is literally it has held its solid value in place since
Well,
release
yeah, and like when it comes to like the most
for
popular,
years.
if we talk about the most popular games, because we talk about like Fortnite and all these free to play games, but like Grand Theft Auto, it's like Grand Theft Auto, and then you have like all like you if you look at the top 10 lists of the top 10 games that are bought for the month or quarter or whatever, it's like GTA. Like GTA is within the top five. You have like 2 to 3 sports games and something else or whatever. Um, like your sports games always sell. Call of Duty is always there. GTA 5 is always there. Like again, and mind you, like we're in probably the minority when it comes to like you and I play and buy everything. Or I know I do.
I
Like
mean,
we
for the
play,
most, what I
well,
can get my hands on.
but like the thing is, like we play other games outside of the Call of Duties, the FIFAs, the
I play,
Maddens.
yeah, that I don't even play Call of Duty like at
Hmm.
all.
Yeah, but
Like
like
I play a little bit of everything.
and the thing is that the free to play games are much more attractive to
Well,
other.
especially on Steam, like I got plenty of free to play like card games and
Hmm.
stuff.
But
Like
what I'm talking
it's
about.
different.
But what I'm talking about is that most players, most people are only going to spend, maybe buy 1 or 2 games a year. Like they do not like for me, I buy games every month, if not every week. Um, because I want to play everything. But like it's Call of Duty because that's my shooter, and then whatever sports game, FIFA, Madden, NBA, whatever. I can't even count WWE. I can't even count WWE because I'm a big wrestling guy. But like even that doesn't even hold a candle to NBA or FIFA or Madden.
Oh yeah,
So
like if I want to play a sports game, NBA is my favorite.
like, but see, like that's the thing. So people will only buy those two, and
Oh,
then
and UFC, though it's technically a fighting game.
so there will, and then again, there's always that one game per year that everyone talks about. Like last year, it was Cyberpunk. Everyone bought that, even though it fell flat on its face. That's what happened. All the past years, Red Dead Redemption 2, Last of Us Part 1 back on the PS3. So on and so on. Marvel Spider-Man. Like, there's always that one game that like everyone's anticipating for. That's not part of your normal stuff. And the free to play is more attractive because, I can get this free to play game. I don't have to spend money. And then, I can spend a little dollar here. I can spend a dollar here. I can spend a dollar here. All of a sudden, you don't realize that you have
It's
already
gambling.
spent. Yeah. And you can set, like, and again, these companies can set the systems to whatever they want and how they want, like, whatever it is. And again, like, as I said, I spent money
It's a
on.
rig. It's like a rigged carnival game.
And like, look, I've spent money on Destiny 2, but the thing is, like, I know what I'm buying. They go, do you want? Here's a set of ornaments. Here's this gun ornament. Here's this emote. Here's this thing. And I've gone, I know what I'm getting. I want to buy that. Done. And it's much, and I enjoy that more. But like FIFA and Madden have Ultimate Team, which are just the packs, and people have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on that. Virtual currency for NBA, similar thing, so on and so on. The free-to-play model is going to turn Ubisoft into using the Helix points points that they have in Assassin's Creed right now will become far worse, I believe, if and when they go to this free-to-play model.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so yeah. Do you have anything else to add? Any final words?
I mean, it's like, again, it's like, I think that it's not like a bad idea that I think they want to dabble in it. Like, I'm honestly interested in what like, for the sake of curiosity alone, what Ubisoft's free game would be. Like, I really would be interested to see what it would be like. But again, it's just like we've discussed. It's like, I feel like it's like this precipice that when you pass it, you start to just like, if you make a game for free, it gets instant exposure faster. But not only like you have to have it's like Fortnite, like you have to have constant updating material, whatever is in the game, and honestly, that would ultimate, like, I feel bad for like the developers that have to just like work that like that. Like there's a cost there beyond like what's seen.
Yeah, and again, I've been playing Ubisoft games for a very long time, and again, Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises. And I know Ubisoft a bit more, and that's why I don't. Ubisoft recently, within the past maybe 3 to 4 years, pretty much ever since Rogue, like Unity messed up on. So they had Unity, and then they did Syndicate, and then they did Origins, and Origins was great because they needed some way to get people back, and then once they got them back, it's been on the decline since then. But the last fantastic, and I think the best time of Ubisoft games was in that 2013 and backwards, kind of Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, around that time, because you had Far Cry 3, you had Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5 is fantastic, you had Rainbow Six Siege, which had a very rough launch, but it became a fantastic multiplayer game as it went by. So I give them props for that, by making people want to play it more by handing it out for free, and it's a free full game. It's not a service or whatever. It's just, here, do you want this free game? Here you go. Or free weekends, free multiplayer weekends, whatever. So I applaud them, but now it just seems like all Ubisoft is doing is taking massive back steps on what they're doing, and I don't like it. I don't like that. I fear that Assassin's Creed will just, and already again, Assassin's Creed is no longer the Assassin's Creed I fell in love with. It just feels like it's just the Assassin's Creed stamped on to, hey, we want to do Vikings, Assassin's Creed. Hey, we want to do Greek mythology, Assassin's Creed. Whatever. And that's all that kind of stuff. And I'm excited for Far Cry 6. That looks really good. But there's not many Ubisoft games that I'm excited for. And that's why I'm I don't like this free-to-play model. I don't like this coming from Ubisoft. I don't like it. So,
no,
yeah,
that's fair assessment.
Yeah, so that's my final words. I'll anything else from you, or is that it?
No, I think I'm good.
Alrighty then. Well, I know that was long. Whoa, we made it. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, tell everyone you don't know. Hey, go ahead and tell us in the comments what you guys think of free-to-play games in general, Ubisoft going for this free-to-play thing, anything that we have discussed, the Apple v. Epic Games lawsuit that's happening, or whatever it is. We would love to hear from you in the comments down below. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, as I said before. You can also follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. You can also go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Dualshock'd BOG. That's the name of our PlayStation podcast, Dualshock'd BOG. Down that way, down that way, down there. There we go. And then you can also follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks when we stream on there. We do have a lot of stuff coming up. That we'll be getting, we're going to be getting reviews of Near Replicant. We're going to be getting reviews of Returnal. That is, as I said, I'm going to be working on that. Spectre is working on his review of Near Replicant. We also are going to be getting a review of Resident Evil 8 Village. We're also going to be getting a review of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the Mass Effect trilogy that has been remastered to the PS4 and the Series X. So we're going to be getting a review of that too. So we have a lot of stuff coming down, unboxings, a lot of cool stuff that's going to be happening in the next coming weeks and month and so. So stay tuned, stay here, check out what we're doing, all that kind of good stuff. Anything else from you, Guru Blaze?
No, I think I'm good for tonight.
Yeah, alrighty then. Well then, I'm Brett J. Rasmussen.
Blaze.
Yeah, Guru Blaze. And as always, live to play, play together. We'll see you guys next time.